Comixwatch. Comixwatch. Comixwatch.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another cringe-filled episode of Comixwatch, where we review and we talk about all the comics that you absolutely love, hate, and everything in between. So, joining us, as always, is the Superman to my Batman. We have Jared from Comics League.
I'll take it. How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, Tavia? We're doing pretty good. We're here to talk about some interesting comics. So today we are going over Volume 1 of Ultimate X-Men. You know how we all have like one of those comics that we can consider like seminal, that like got us into comics that are like actually really important to us? Ultimate X-Men is probably one of those comics that like are foundational to me.
That's cool.
Like I remember trying to think here. I would do a lot of monster truck shows when I was younger, and they had a preview edition of this, and I read it a lot, and then I actually read it later, and it was really good. And so yeah, Ultimate X-Men is actually really kind of important to me. So we're kind of covering this, and Jared here has Ultimate X-Men up here, and we're going to kind of go through it, kind of give our thoughts on it, and oh, trust me, we have thoughts, especially Jared.
Isn't it kind of interesting how the two, I think, so last time we did a comic review was a Wolverine origin, right?
Possibly, yeah.
If so, here's why I'm bringing that up. So basically, we had 2 weeks of Kubert's art.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna say his art does really carry this book a lot.
Yeah, and what's kind of interesting with this book when I was checking it out, because the purpose of like the Ultimate Universe is like to start fresh on a lot of Marvel's top properties and to like invent them in new ways. And I gotta say, I reading this after watching the X-Men movies, because again, this was my first time watching this. I'm like, oh, I see where they got this from.
Oh yeah, speaking of the X-Men movies, these were very much made in the shadow of at least the first one. Like, you can tell by the suits, the way they do stuff. What would you prefer? Black latex?
And then Marvel, after Bo DeMeo, was like, yes. But anyway, so let's talk about this. And by the way, there was some advancements in terms of the Bo DeMeo story, so maybe we'll talk about that later. I don't know what you want to do about that.
Yeah, we'll do that after we finish the review.
Yeah.
It's all good.
So first off, I will say I enjoyed this book. There's one thing in here that I think is stupid, but overall, solid book. But plus, I love me some. I enjoy Mark Millar's writing because oftentimes because some of the stuff he does for shock value. I'll give you that.
You think this stands for France?
He got such back. No, it was kind of funny. Brian Hitch, the artist, got such backlash for that line, and he goes, "I'm just the artist. I didn't write it."
Is Millar the one who wrote in the scene between Scarlet Witch and Peach?
Nope, that was Jeff Loeb.
So we can't. Mark Millar is innocent.
Jeff Loeb is also the one that had Poison Ivy kiss Supergirl. Mind you, Supergirl is a minor.
I'm sorry, I feel like throwing up now.
So apparently they went to the John Byrne School of Storytelling. Anyway, continuing on. So hang on, I'm just going to... sometimes it's dangerous to be a little different, and I like that. And again, this book really like factors in the whole X-Men are different. And first off, what I liked about this is how it opens up that the X-Men have to be like covert because they're basically being hunted by the secret police, a la the Sentinels. And by the way, I love the light trails on this. The thrusters, they look like tiny like nukes coming in.
I just want to say, Andy Kubert was really trying to do his best Mike Turner Image Comics impression with this one, because this feels like an Image book,
and he succeeded. I definitely think he succeeded.
And we'll get to a scene that Andy Kerber's like, all right, I'm just gonna follow Tom McFarlane's notes here. You'll know exactly when we get that.
Yeah. So they fight, and again, a lot of this is like lit really well. But I really like how they basically make it so this.
Sorry, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I like how they make. First off, they're very mature with this, like a Sentinel actually stepping on a mutant. And again, I like how the Sentinels are like essentially the secret police.
Okay, can I just say it is actually really creative censorship, because they have him step on the mutant, and like his little like candy juice packet thing. That's a thing that squeezes, but it's supposed to be a stand-in for blood, because if they have him squeeze it and the blood came out, that would be an instant content rating. But because you get the same thing.
Well, here's the thing: didn't this come out during the Comics Code?
It did actually.
So they couldn't do that anyway. So there you go.
Like actually, the version that I had was approved by the Comics Code Authority. This is like the tail end of it, like the very, very tail end of that era. But I actually love how they did that. It's a very creative way of doing it. I enjoy it.
Continuing on, then we get a lot of like the news media talking about the mutants and basically justifying this, saying some mutants terrorized America, so we're going to start imprisoning all of them. Where have we heard that before? Particularly also, in this time period in American politics.
Also, this is ripped straight out of Spawn. This is what I was talking about.
Yeah.
This way of presenting like exposition with the news is directly lifted from Spawn. Todd McFarlane's created this style.
Yeah, exactly. And I like this. And so we get Beast. Now the interesting thing about this, at least in volume 1, is I read it and I expected him to turn into the Beast guy, but he kind of doesn't. He's still like a big dude. He's more like X-Men First Class, only much more bulky. And you know what? I appreciate that as a version of this character.
Also, I just want to say, this scene is ripped straight out of the first movie, by the way.
Oh, yeah, the Wolverine in the bar. Yeah, pretty much that.
I mean, the guy looks almost exactly like the guy from, like, the Stone Cold Steve Austin wannabe.
Now, I will say, I'm not a big fan of Jean Grey with really short hair.
It was kind of the style at the time.
Yeah, but I'm glad it's not the style of the time anymore. And you know, I know that she doesn't have that in Ultimate Spider-Man when they cross over with Ultimate X-Men. I mean, she does when they first cross over, but then after that, they're like, give her long hair. Yeah. And then I like how like Jean is using all of her mind powers to like influence people. But here's the thing: she's like 18, and of course they have to draw her like ridiculously provocative and like what amounts to a BDSM outfit, and I'm like, okay.
I mean, let's be honest. A lot of young girls were wearing similar outfits at the time, so this is not really that out of. I mean, I literally saw kids like in that age bracket wearing that kind of outfits.
And I will say, I like this look for Storm, because in this, Storm is like a car thief or something like that, which they've kind of, that's, I think, a reference to like her original origin still, because Storm, I believe, was like a pickpocket in Egypt before she like became the goddess who had powers and benefited all the people with rain.
I'm just going to say, Tevya, have you seen the stuff that 18-year-olds are wearing now? Have you seen the stuff that 18-year-olds wear in general? That's all I'm going to say.
Exactly. And then we meet Colossus. So basically what this would be, remember in X-Men First Class, was the montage of Professor X and Magneto recruiting the X-Men? It's pretty much that.
I love
that image is dope. The fire on him, the tattered clothes.
See, I love this era of art just because of like the lighting, and if you actually kind of look at Screecher, you can tell I am very influenced by this era, just like the way the lighting is, the fire and whatnot. So
then we get again they're recruiting for the X-Men, and then we meet Cyclops. By the way, you can use the Ultimate costumes in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1, and that's pretty much the ones that I use for my X-Men.
I love this art. Like, this is like...
Yeah, Andy Kubert knows what he's doing. I love this guy. He did like Dark Knight 3. Obviously, he did Wolverine. He did like a lot of really, really, really seminal books. Oh yeah, he even drew the introduction of Damian Wayne.
The thing about Kubert's art is he takes all the 90s excess. Because look at this art. These characters have muscles on top of muscles on top of muscles.
And pouches.
Oh god, the pouches. And he makes it work. Like, it actually looks good.
He manages to modernize a lot of the 90s tropes that people hate. But when he does it, it actually is good. Because you know what he does? You know what I think it is? Yeah, it's excessive, but here's the thing, and this is where the whole body image thing comes into comic books, because here's the thing. You're dealing with characters that are supposed to be the physical epitome of humanity, and so naturally they're going to be jacked as hell. And in terms of, it's a super idealized form. Then when you get like with the costumes, what I think he does is he sort of straddles that line between excess and like the right amount, because they have pouches, but it's the right amount of pouches and all that.
Yeah, the way that I see Andy Kubert's art in this one, he's kind of like an amalgamation of a Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane, and Mike Turner. Because, like, I'm sorry, but like the way he draws, like the women, especially like the waistlines, that is a very Mike Turner way of drawing.
That is a Mike Turner thing. Yeah, exactly.
So there's a reason why I like the women in this book.
Yeah, I would say so. So they meet Professor Xavier, and he looks. You know what's kind of funny about Charles Xavier is that in a lot of comics he looks evil. In this, he looks friendly. So I'm like, okay, there you go.
It looks kind of cozy.
And so we find out that like Magneto is hanging on this island. We also find out Magneto is the reason why Charles can't walk, because he threw a spear through him.
I love the flashback, like different art styles. Like it's more of like a sketch kind of woodcut kind of thing. It looks so good.
They did that in Batman Hush, where Jim Lee had like watercolors for like the flashbacks to when him and Tommy saw like Alan Scott, and I really like that.
Yeah, they're definitely going off the movie designs. For that.
Well, let's not forget, this is the universe where they based Nick Fury off of Samuel L. Jackson, demonstrably, like, admittedly said Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, and that's where they made the deal of like, oh, if you ever do a movie, I want to be in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wait, oh god, go back. I have to, like, that page, like, composition wise, this is like a masterclass at work. I love just because there's no panels here, but it just works. So like,
let me put it this way: there are panels, but they're not panels. And in other words, each one is a separate image, but they have very creative borders.
Yes, and I'm sorry. Sometimes the art is just
And then a Sentinel attacks, and the X-Men go to work. So they showed up here because they detected a mutant. I love Storm. She just shows up with like a lightning bolt and like cuts off a Sentinel's head with a lightning bolt.
Yeah, the thing
I'm sorry, that is extremely cool.
Yes, the thing I like about Storm in this one is she has a bit of character arc of learning her abilities. Like, she's way more powerful than anybody realizes, or even she realizes. And a lot of her arc is learning to trust herself and her abilities.
Yeah, because again, she's an Omega level mutant, which for those of you that don't know what that means, an Omega level mutant is essentially a mutant that has no upper limit to their power, because she controls the weather. So again, it's like a Sentinel battle. And we see Cyclops stuff, and then they are. I like also when the Sentinel is holding him. He goes, "I know what you're thinking. Incidentally, you think the only way I can release an optic blast is to press the button on my visor, don't you? Bad news, dumbass!" And he just snaps his fingers, and the slot opens for his vision.
Can I just say? This reminds me of a scene in X-Men Evolution that come up like a few years later. It's like, you want it raw? I'll give it to you raw. And then he just like takes his visor off.
This also reminds me of a scene from Superman and Wonder Woman when Apollo blasts Superman with sunlight, and then Superman goes, "You don't know that much about me, do you?" It's the greatest Superman moment of all time. Fight me. So then we meet Iceman, Bobby Drake.
Yeah, who is another Omega level mutant, by the
Yes,
way.
he is, because it's not just ice. He legit can like control like the water inside people.
So you're saying he can bloodbend?
Except he can't control people with that. It's different and not stupid. I swear, season 3 of that show was so downhill. Continuing on, but I
I'm
like how,
sorry, I had to bring it up.
but the X-Men are still hated, so they have to fall back. And then we see Magneto and Toad and Quicksilver. And then it turns out, so the way they
Wait. Go back one. Sorry, you're going so fast. I really don't like this design for Magneto. I'm just gonna say it.
it's too simple.
It's too simple, and having the red be the highlight color is just not good.
Yeah, it's not my favorite on Ultimate Alliance either. And I love this because this reminds me in X-Men First Class when Magneto pulled the dude's tooth falling out. Magneto pulls the dude's pacemaker out of his heart.
Too much iron in your blood.
Yes, exactly. Never trust a woman, particularly one interested in you.
Oh,
That's such
I
a
love
great
how-
line.
Basically, it's the equivalent of hiding the. Also, I will say I do love this twist on Wolverine. This is a great kind of original take.
Yeah, where he's like an assassin sent by Magneto, and I'm like, okay, that's actually is pretty cool. So hang on, I have to go back because for some reason Marvel plays this out of order, so I have to go find issue 2. Give me 1 second.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm actually consulting the book. The Enemy Within is chapter 2. Chapter 3 is Warzone.
Okay, yeah. So let me find that. In the meantime, yeah, I gotta say, yeah, I do like that because it's a sort of idea. It's because it's something you could kind of play with Wolverine, of him being like an assassin actually that's sent to like take out the X-Men. And I gotta say, I think it really works for them.
Here's the next page that I got.
Okay, yeah, I just gotta pull it up. Give me 1 second. But anyway, so what's your favorite moment from issue 1, Nick?
I would say the whole like trading sequence. I love how with Jean Grey, how they kind of like it's like an escalation, like she reveals more and more information. And go. Also, one of my favorite little art things is let me get to this. Let me just highlight myself so I can make it easier. Is like his the artist like just draws a smiley face. It's so small, like you see that.
Kind of.
It's literally yeah.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Let me go to this. Here we go. So now I got issue 2. Here we go. Continuing on. So hang on. For some reason, Marvel by default goes to this guided view, and I'm like, no, I want to see the pages. So there's Wolverine, and I like how he's like so like. We'll answer questions later. So I dig like how Wolverine is like so not into this. He's like, all right, let's just get over it. And I like how he looks up and there's like snipers like on the rooftop, and he goes, wait, something's wrong. And then he just gets blasted. And then he goes, don't worry, boys, we got him. Okay, here's my problem. So it's supposed to be called the Blackbird, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a B-2 bomber. That is not an SR-71 Blackbird.
I think they were trying to update it because, like, the SR-71 is kind of 70s tech, honestly. I think they wanted, like, a more modern plane that was still futuristic.
Then don't call it the Blackbird.
But branding!
called the X-Jet. There you go. You're done. I think also in Ultimate Spider-Man, they established that this also has like a tractor beam that can pull people up, like it's an alien abduction ship. It's kind of odd, but I will say I like the green highlights on the jet. I think that looks really cool.
Yeah.
And and I also think it's kind of funny how Beast is repairing the X-Jet as they're flying.
Knowing how fast they fly.
Yeah, and then we have the X-Men are like training. So it's basically Professor X goes, "Hey, so we see Wolverine, and it's like it turns out that like they hint at the whole immortality thing, but they don't exactly say he's immortal. They go, he showed up in like the Gulf War, and he has this really weird healing power and stuff. Because
at
go
the
ahead.
time of this comic, the Gulf War was 10 years prior, so that's like not too much of a time difference.
Yeah, exactly. So then we see Wolverine. Now here's the cool part. So that's Wraith. That's the teleporting character from X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Really?
Yeah, John Wraith or Wrath or whatever his name was. The dude who Sabretooth grabbed his spine and said, "You're so predictable, John."
That was the one played by Will.i.am?
Yes, that was the one played by Will.i.am. That is correct.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, that's actually really cool. And I'm like, oh, okay, I see what you're going there. And they're like, welcome back to Weapon X. And I like how they put him in a jail cell made of adamantium. So they're actually being smart for once. Yeah, and I like how they like abuse the prisoner. Like they keep shooting him because they know he's going to heal. And then the X-Men show up. And I love how first off, I love the way this is composed. I'm going to start with that. I like how the hubcaps of the landing gear have X's on them. And then I love Cyclops' line, "Blow him away, Storm."
Yeah, I was getting some Breaking Benjamin vibes from that.
Yeah, exactly. You old man. And so the X-Men break in, and Wolverine just flies out on a motorcycle. And
because apparently that's what he does.
Yeah, exactly. And he's chasing after Wraith, but then Wolverine is like, "Come with us, and then we'll help." I like how Jean goes, "Don't make me hurt you." He goes, "How do you think you're going to do that, gorgeous?" And then she just throws him with her mental powers around. He goes, "Okay, are you are you calm now?"
Redheads, gotta love them.
Yeah, exactly. And then we get to issue 3. The appropriate time for issue 3.
Yes.
Let's see what else. Continuing on, it's loading.
So, what do you think of this so far?
I like it. Issue 3 is where my issue comes in, but issue 2, I'm like, okay, this is because I like the whole Wolverine is technically a spy sent in by Magneto to take the X-Men out from inside. That's really cool. Mm-hmm. Then we see more of like essentially what the X-Men are doing is that they're trying to save mutants. And then we see Wolverine is like training. We don't know it's training at first. We think he's like killing all the X-Men. And then Professor Xavier is like, "Well done, well played, Wolverine." And then
yes, you have completely murdered my entire team. Well done, old chap.
You've killed children. You are now a lunatic. And
you're ready for a Bruce Timm book.
Yeah. So they find out that like this guy's daughter was kidnapped. So they roll out to go save him. And I like, okay, they actually made Toad a Toad Man. I will give them props for that.
Don't you people ever die?
You know what happens when the Toad was struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everyone else.
It croaks.
Mm-hmm. That would have been a way better line than the same thing that happens to everyone else.
Oh, fun fact. That was the Joss Whedon line.
That makes sense. But so you know what I love? You know what I love about this? So you see Iceman, he's supposed to deploy the ice light closer, but then he goes, "Sorry, I missed my cue. Wolverine was playing with himself in the corner."
No. Jared, go back one page, please. Read the line from the first panel. I just think it's so funny.
What the heck? Did you just break wind again without authorization block? Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's just I love that line.
God damn it, that's so good. And
Jared, did you break wind without authorization again?
Mm-hmm. I like how like Quicksilver grabs the keys out of the car and he goes, messing an engine, Cyclops, and the Cyclops just blasts him and goes, missing a face, moron.
So
and I love how to stop him from moving, Wolverine just stands there, deploys his claws and just holds it there, and then so Quicksilver's like,
apparently Wolverine comes from the Deathstroke school of dealing with speedsters.
Yeah, exactly. And but remember, Nick, Deathstroke is a Batman, is a Teen Titans villain. He can't fight the Justice League. This is how stupid those people sound. So Wolverine evacs the girl as the X-Men like distract. I like how he just drives the car off a cliff and then it's caught by the X-Jet.
He had to get it to 120. The writing is really good. Mark Millar definitely was on his A game with this one.
You know what's hilarious, Nick? You just gave me the best transition to my problem with this book. I'm going to read this dialogue. You'd do anything to impress a 17-year-old in a tight sweater, wouldn't you? Actually, I've kind of got my eye on a telepathic 19-year-old, but I'm worried she's going to waste her life on a loser who brushes his teeth 6 times a day. So here's my problem with this.
But good hygiene is attractive.
They Bruce Timm / John Byrne Wolverine in the worst way possible.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry. Yeah, I know that is. I know it's in terms of Jean Grey, at least it's legal because she is 18. It's still very creepy considering the fact that Wolverine's also hundreds of years old. I'm assuming he's still immortal in this. So I'm like,
yeah, it's still creepy, but you can defend it and not.
But the 17-year-old line is where I'm like, no, I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, because I've kind of been a bit of a, like when it comes to like the Bruce and Barbara stuff, because a lot of the times Barbara is an adult when that stuff happens, and I kind of make those same arguments. And in my opinion, is you can defend it and not be weird. You can still think it's creepy, but it's defensible. This, no.
And I got news for you. Whenever I read a Mark Millar book, don't get me wrong, I love his writing because he can write a lot of really great books like Red Son, Civil War, and such. But there were a few books like Ultimates and this when he always has to insert these really creepy things. Now, wait, he did not do the Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch thing from Ultimates 3. That was Jeff Loeb, so I'm not going to blame him for that. But it's literally when I saw his Mark Millar, I'm reading the book and I'm like, where's the Millerism? There it is. Like, remember, Mark Millar is the one that when they were trying to pitch a Death of Superman for Wonder Woman, their idea was the violation of Wonder Woman. I'm trying to like use non-triggering language, but you get what I'm trying to say. It's a word that rhymes with ape. That's what I'm going to tell you. That was the story he came up with.
Yeah. He says he said it as a joke, and I can believe Mark Millar would just throw that out there as a joke, but still.
No, because here's the thing. He does do a lot of stories where his characters are, I'm going to say aped. How's that? Where the women are aped.
Essayed.
Are essayed. He says he does it as like an empowerment thing that like they overcome it, but I'm like, what? No, that was his excuse. But here's the issue. There's plenty of ways that you could do a Death of Superman / Nightfall for Wonder Woman. Britt and I are doing that as a fan fiction. And you know what? We do not, in no way do we ever think, how about we do the essay of Wonder Woman?
Like, haven't we had entire conversations about using essay as a means for character development needs to go away? Like, we've had those conversations. The community at large is what it means.
The community at large has had that conversation. Like, that is a trope with female characters in like any medium. It's not just comics or movies, but it is a really stupid and overplayed trope at this point. Because I get it, it's something women go through and men too, but oftentimes it's that's the thing that's used to bring the female character down a peg, and I'm like, nah, there are other ways that you could do this and give the character
To
an
me,
arc.
it's a lover that's been pulled way too many times.
Yeah, exactly. But then you get
Moving
lines
on.
like this, where for some reason a lot of these writers seem like, and actually, my friend, I think my friend Jid or someone I was talking to said that like when you're that like they heard from like insiders from like DC and Marvel that a lot of these old timey creators are very problematic behind the scenes. So I'm like, this makes sense with like the John Byrne Superman kissing a 14-year-old and Batman marrying his descendant.
You know who hasn't written cringy stories like ever? Chuck Dixon.
Or Zack Snyder. I'm only kidding. Yeah. But yeah,
well, Zack Snyder's a director. I'm talking about creators.
Yeah. Because here's the thing about Chuck. He wrote female characters really well, and he didn't need to use SA as a trope. If you can make Robin have his own series that went on for as long as it did, you know what you're doing. Anyway, continuing on.
Yeah, we kind of focus on that a little bit too much, but it's okay.
But anyway, but again, the thing I really like now, going back to what I like about this, because here's what I liked about particularly this book. In a certain way, I like how they de-aged the X-Men for this book, because that was part of the reason why I like the New 52, because when you de-age the characters and like go back and like progress the stories, you get to grow with the characters and see them mature more. Although it does get kind of close to Charles Xavier technically has child soldiers.
Yeah, that's always kind of like, honestly, that kind of debate is going on even in the Batman camp, because a lot of the Robins tend to be like very young teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But anyway, but I do like this, and again, I really like and I love the building collapses, and then Beast is kind of dead, and they're like, oh no, we have to break out this serum that we discovered that was like mixing animal DNA. I wonder if he'll become a beast.
Oh God.
Yeah, it did.
It very much did. I think I pointed out a few of those.
A lot of X-Men media borrowed from Ultimate X-Men, like to up the yin yang, which is good. They took the good. Here's why I'm fine with that. They took the good stuff, like even in, because I get what they were going for, because in this, Millar's playing on the Wolverine likes Jean Grey thing. But at least in the movies, Jean Grey is older, so it's not creepy. Anyway, going back to this.
Yeah, I believe in the Singer movies, she's more like mid to late 20s, early 30s kind of thing.
That's fine. I have less of an issue with that. But so then the local militia shows up, and I like where Iceman is like freaking out. He goes, he's down, Storm. The locals just put a bullet in his chest, and now they're gunning for me. And then I love Cyclops' line. Stay cool, Iceman. Why do you think God created Kevlar?
I mean,
I gotta say,
God,
yeah, go ahead.
God created man. Sam Colt made him equal.
Yeah, I gotta say, I love Ultimate Cyclops. I love his quips he makes. Why do you think God created Kevlar? Or lose a face, moron?
Yeah, this is definitely more of the Cyclops we want to see.
Yeah, and then okay.
All right. Oh wait. I just need to say this. Like, it was actually refreshing with a bit of cringe when Ultimate and X-Men 97 came out. Like, wait, Cyclops is actually cool?
Which we all knew he was cool, but it's nice to see a little more mainstream acknowledgement that Cyclops is cool.
Yeah, it's just for the past, 20 years. because the movies kind of made him a bit of a twip, and like all the media that's coming out, and then in the comics he basically became Magneto Light. It's so
I will
refreshing.
say the moment where I think solidified Cyclops is cool. Granted, the first scene you see Cyclops in was great. I think what really sold it is when he goes, "Solid work, team. See you on the ground." And then he lands with his optic blast to me, my X-Men. I was like, okay, there you go. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry. You just turned him into a badass.
Yeah.
He, like you said when we talked about that scene, he's totally calm, cool, and collected. He's even having fun. It's like, see you on the ground, guys. Woo!
Yeah, and like the Cyclops in X-Men Evolution is actually really good. And actually the Wolverine in that one is probably the best one because he's older than them and like he adopts like a wise uncle kind of thing. Like the thing is like he's actually encouraging Cyclops to ask Jean out. It's like, holy crap, this is
I also like how in Ultimate and like X-Men Evolution, we got the debut of Laura Kinney. Yep. So they it was a Harley Quinn thing. All right. So here's why I like had that violent reaction to this page, because I just noticed something now, and this is because it's a Mark Millar book. Why does Storm have all that white stuff on her face? You see what I'm saying, right, Nick? Look at her face, dude. Is it just me, or is that a little excessive?
I know what they're trying to allude to. I'm not gonna say it. Don't say it.
No, I'm not gonna say
Silly girl with like the great entrance. Oh God, yes.
Yeah, and this.
It's not meant to be snow, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, you see what you agree with me, right? You see what I'm seeing here, right?
Unfortunately,
I kid you not. I just noticed that as soon as I turned the page. That's why as soon as I turned the page, I was like, "Oh no." Anyway, so then I like
still great art.
I'm gonna tell you this. That is really cool with the train.
Yeah.
And I hate Magneto's costume, but I like the way this is framed. He's got his hands behind his back. He's just flying. And then they essentially, it's like, so in this, Magneto's kind of like a terrorist that's hunted and stuff, but they kind of have like a loose, like tentative, like, we're not going to kill you. You don't try and kill us kind of thing. It's kind of like a loose thing. So then we discover, so they're going to inject Beast with this special formula that's made partly from Beast DNA.
Wait. Back to formula.
Yeah.
God.
And of course, Beast has a mullet. That's so 2000s. And then...
Jared, okay, give your thoughts on Jean's haircut.
Still don't like it. She looks like a boy.
Honestly, some girls can make the pixie cut work. I think Jean Grey makes it work.
Okay, we're gonna have to agree to disagree on that.
It's okay to be wrong. All right, go for it, sir.
What the Bruce Tim is this?
All right, Sarah, you're on.
Okay, here's my problem with this. Okay, I get what you're going for, but you literally changed the circumstances so you youngified the X-Men. That's fine. But what you don't realize that you can't do the same stuff that you could do with the regular X-Men if you youngify them, because this is creepy. This is a 200 to 300-year-old man making out with an 18-year-old. Even though she's 18, it's still creepy. Somehow, Mark Millar has managed to out Bruce Tim.
Wow.
Let me skip this BS.
I know you're holding that in, so I had to let you let it out.
Oh, there's another moment where this is going to come out. So Professor X sends Cyclops. Oh, let's go to Asian cute girls. Yeah, exactly. In here, Professor X essentially sends Cyclops to like Magneto's island to try and negotiate a peace. And then we see Beast, instead of turning him into a Beast Man, and I appreciated this, it just turned his hair blue. And I'm like, okay, this is a kind of a cool change.
I think it was kind of a bit of a fake out. Like, oh, like people thought like they made you think like, oh, this is how he turns blue. You know, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. And then welcome to the so this is the ultimate Savage Land. So that's kind of what I like that, and I like all the fireworks and stuff. It reminds me of the good part of Krakoa.
No, we don't say that word here.
This is the next part where I'm like, God damn it. Okay, hang on. This is loading. Actually, show the image first. I'll let you know when I want to. So then there's a terrorist attack on London and everything like that. It's being blamed on the mutants. So here's the thing here. So you're telling me Cyclops is essentially facilitating terrorism? I'm like, well, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Then we get this.
Wait, are they living together?
They're sleeping together. Because look at this. What is this supposed to be?
They're trying to they're testing the bed sheets to see
I love how Nick is trying to justify this.
Wolverine asks like, "Hey, I got these silk bed sheets. Do they really feel nice?"
She even calls him Mr. Wolverine.
By the way, I'm doing this for comedic effect. By the way,
I know. Yes, we're talking about the Ultimate Universe, Brown Destroyer.
Okay, I have to make a really bad joke. You know, when Magneto asked him to go undercover, I don't think he expected him to go in that deep.
He took it very literally.
Sorry,
I love this image of the Sentinels launching like it's the nukes from Mutually Assured Destruction. Because they do a lot of mad. What's the word? Like mad analogies in this.
Yeah. Yes, Brown Destroyer. This is the original Ultimate Universe from the 2000s.
Yeah, and what I like about this is again they're talking about because Magneto wants to take out all the humans because he sees because Homo superior and all that stuff, and then. Obviously, Cyclops references a certain German painter that would lead Germany during World War II.
I'm sorry. Magneto agreeing with his oppressor's ideas will never not be hilariously ironic for me.
And then, okay, you know what's kind of funny? When I saw this, I was like, oh, so that's where Jeff Loeb got the idea for that. You know what I'm referencing.
Yeah, actually, we will review Ultimate Spider-Man at some point. We actually need to review the new one first, though.
Yeah. So, by the way, technically, when you think about it, this is pretty much the decimation from the X-Men when the Sentinels showed up and nuked Genosha. Remember where Emma Frost first got her power? So this is that, but before it happened, kind of.
But without the cringy Asa Base dancing in the air scene.
That was not in the comic.
I would hope so.
In the comic, literally, it's so cool because I recently read the first volume of Grant's X-Men, and it's in there. So Emma Frost is teaching a class on mutant stuff. And then they look out the window and then the Sentinel just lands and starts annihilating. And what's cool, the countdown is how many mutants are alive. It's 1,000 mutants. Next panel, 100 mutants alive. 0 mutants alive. It's so well done. And then, so we get a lot of destruction and okay, sorry, for some reason it's not. Look at the gore on this.
Oh god, the fact like also I love like they show like the Sentinel about to crush the guy under his boot is just so good.
It's a good callback. And then I like Magneto. He essentially takes over these Sentinels. So this is where they got the idea in Days of Future Past and turns them against humans.
I will say it seems like they've done a bit of a costume tweak. Instead of like it being gray and red, it's now black and red. I do think the tweak looks better.
Or purple and red. And this looks better. Probably they got a lot of feedback on the suit, and everyone's like, yeah, that looks stupid. So, like, change it.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, I love this image of Cyclops.
That is wallpaper worthy.
That is phone wallpaper right there. Like, the look on his face, it just looks so badass.
Yeah, it's just the way the rain kind of pours down. It looks so good.
And then I'm sorry, but we have to reference the Bruce Timming of Wolverine again. This is the last time, I promise.
Okay, Mr. Wolverine.
That's the worst part.
All right, so we got a comment from Mike's Total Dragon channel. Hello, sir. Welcome to my YouTube. Says this is from the era in which comics really presented themselves as movies with widespread. Yeah,
that's what they kind of intended to do with like Ultimates, because the first like issue, the first few pages of it is basically Saving Private Ryan, and they're like, we wanted it to read like a war movie. And it works. I'm 100% fine with that. So as they were sleeping together, Jean read his mind and found out he was a spy.
And she's not happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no. I have to make a very bad joke. She was playing her own version of The Spy Who Made Love to Me.
Anyways, so then we get this dope image of Magneto.
I'm sorry, I'm having so much fun making it uncomfortable.
So then we get this really dope image. Yes, exactly. So then we get the dope image of Magneto riding his Sentinel.
To me, my Sentinels.
Yeah. And then they just lay waste to Washington, D.C. and the X-Men and the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants actually defend humanity, because Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are like, yeah, this is messed up. I love this image of Storm. You know, she just calls out a lightning bolt on like a Sentinel. She goes, I'm actually getting pretty good at this stuff. I love that. That is just so good. And then Magneto has like, this reminded me of the first X-Men movie where Magneto has all the guns on the cops, because he literally grabs all the cameras and has them looking at the president as he's about to crush him. And I like
Homo
how
sapiens and your guns.
And I like how he brings the car down, and then Charles Xavier just tears the car apart and he goes, you and I need to have a serious talk, Eric. I love that. I love that. That is so good. The Magneto beats the crap out of Professor Charles Xavier, and it looks like all hope is lost. And then we also have like Iceman being a badass, and it looks like he's gonna die. And then Wolverine just stabs him in the back. Funny how that
literally works. Stabs him in the back.
Like
the symbolism is not lost on any of us.
Yeah, I love that. And he goes, well, do I need to spell it out? I'm playing for the other team now, freak. You told us life was just a choice between man wiping us out and the Homo sapien Holocaust you always wanted. But Charles offered me a third option. And what's that? Embracing a species that treated you like a lab monkey. No, we're teaching them we're all human. And I'm like, that's a cool thing, Wolverine.
The third option was a redhead. That was
he just stabs him in the back with a beam. And then I like how like Quicksilver just rolls in, takes the helmet off, and then we just see Magneto going, "Hello, Eric," and he just tears him apart.
I mean, there has been X-Men games during like the PS2, PS3 era. I think the last one we got was like Ultimate Alliance 3 for the Switch. Was the closest we got. But yeah, expect to see more X-Men. I mean, they got the Wolverine game coming out. Expect to see more.
And there's talk that they're gonna put the like Deadpool, Wolverine, Ultimate Alliance, Spider-Man games back on Game Pass.
Yeah, that needs to happen.
It needs to happen because I need to play those games again. So I like what Charles does. He grabs all of the like Sentinels, covers Magneto into a ball, throws him into space, and then the nuke hits and basically kills Magneto.
Wow.
And yeah. So the book ends. Now here's the interesting thing. Do you know what? Later, Magneto would be responsible for the event called Ultimatum.
No.
Where he sends a wave into New York City that kills half the X-Men, including Beast. Off panel. He also kills Ultimate Daredevil that way. And then remember, Wasp is eaten by Blob, and apparently she tastes like chicken. Yeah. But so there is that.
All right. So enough of really.
I will say the cool thing is that in Ultimatum they do establish that like mutants are actually man-made. They're not like a natural born and naturally created things. And Wolverine was the first mutant.
Okay.
I know it's kind of weird when they retcon that. But anyway, I could see a lot of the like modern influence of X-Men of like how this series like very much influenced modern X-Men, and I dig it. I think I could have done without the Bruce Timming of Wolverine, and that brings it down to like a 7 out of 10 for me. So there you go. That's what I'm gonna leave it on that.
Yeah. So, Jared, apparently you have some news to share.
Yeah. So I was watching a video today by WDW Pro, and he was talking about, so Bo DeMayo has been coming out and like talking about like the difficulties he had with Marvel. Here's the thing. So Britt and I were kind of like, so this is kind of like demonstrates that I think that this is one of the occasions where his firing was justified. So here's the thing. Came out some of the things that he wanted to do. Like Marvel had to tell him to essentially de-gayify Charles Xavier and Magneto.
Wait. Disney told him not to do that?
Yeah. Disney. Well, remember, Disney has also it came out, told the creators of Inside Out 2 to make it less gay because they're convinced that Lightyear bombed because of that gay kiss scene. There are a lot of reasons why.
What's funny is if you actually watch X-Men 97 with that in mind, you can really tell like that's what he was trying to set up in a way.
And remember the scene when Magneto was like chained up and he was like in his briefs? Apparently Bo wanted him to be nude.
What?
It was like as a way of like torture, but I'm still like, you're making a kid's cartoon, dude. You can't do that.
Yeah, and I get this is a kid's cartoon for adults, and you're allowed a little more leeway, like because there was more violence. I think there was maybe some swear words here and there. It basically went from like a PG to like a PG-13.
Yeah, you can't make it into an R. And then apparently it's because here's the thing, and Britt and I talk about this a lot with like fandom and stuff. Honestly, after I heard this, it kind of seemed like Bo was fired because he was trying to force his fetishes on the X-Men characters. And I gotta be, I mean, it hurts me to say that because again, you could tell he liked the X-Men. He understood the characters with what was brought through in the show. Also, this was the other thing. Remember the whole Morph and Wolverine thing? That was kind of a thing. But apparently, so what happened was, so some people said that like, they're just friends. And he says, "I love you, Logan." He was like being Jean Grey. So he thought that maybe hearing Jean Grey say "I love you" would bring him out of the coma. Bo basically yelled at someone on Twitter, accused them of straight washing. when one of the producers, or I think the actor on the show, said, no, we meant it to be like interpretive. You can interpret it as just friends, or you can interpret it as romantic. It doesn't really matter. Honestly, that was the first time I started to see the cracks in there, and I was like, okay. And then obviously what sold me on maybe he's not as innocent as we thought it was the whole, I'm going to tell you the full story. Come subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Yeah, honestly, over time, I don't think Bo's innocent, but I don't think Dizzy's innocent either. I think it's more of a nuanced situation of, there was kind of some crappy stuff on both sides. I don't know, because Bo, I like Bo, but he does kind of strike me as a bit of a huckster.
Yeah, I got new, because again, if you're so convinced that you're right, and you know what, you may be, don't hide your evidence behind a paywall, because that looks sus.
Yeah, definitely. Because he knows, like, I get the whole, I get the marketing of it, of like, oh, people are going to want to know my site, so I'm going to put it behind a paywall because at least somebody's going to subscribe to it. Because he knows that once it gets out, people are going to leak it out. We know some people are, and
some people did, but some people subbed and then leaked the information from there. But the thing about it is, like, this whole situation kind of told me that, like, a lot of companies are starting to get with the program that catering to that, like, let's be honest, like, pandering to this doesn't lead to sales. That's why they're like, nope, take all that crap out now.
Like I think Disney's gonna take the lesson, because they intentionally de-gayified Inside Out 2, and look, it made so much money. And Disney takes like the least common, like they're like, okay, we de-gayified Inside Out 2, and we made lots of money. Thus, we should de-gayify lots of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of the other companies are going to tech on this. This is also why I'm going to bring this up. This is why, again, because some fans are like, they should make Diana bi in the DCU. And I'm like, they're not going to do that, because guess what? Or like at all in any form. Because they learned that the minute you do that, you are alienating your prime audience, because then you're like, no, this character isn't for you.
I mean, look through how many hoops they jumped through just so that they could say Superman is gay. They created a son of Superman called John Kent. They aged him up. They had him share the mantle of Superman with Clark, and then they made John gay just so that they could say Superman is gay but not have it be Clark. Like, they went through all those hoops just to be able to say that, and it still failed.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. They're starting to realize it's for California wine moms. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So honestly, this is a good thing. It establishes that. Now, here's the thing. Now, what's season 2 of 97 going to look like, though? Because
I'm very concerned.
Because here's the thing. Let's talk about why it could be hopeful, but also why it's concerning. Here's why I think it could be hopeful. Then you don't have to worry about people interpreting it as, oh, those two characters like each other because they're staring. By the way, that whole cringe dancing thing you referenced when we were talking about, like, Genosha, that was also Bo as well. So a lot of the cringe stuff that we hated was him as well.
Like, I get, like, the whole Magneto and the Rogue thing is in the comics.
Yeah.
The way that Bo played it out was not the best.
No, it wasn't. It's really creepy, honestly, but still, at least he took something from the comics. But the point is, that whole dancing thing, I was like,
At least I'll give him credit. At least you had Gambit have enough self-respect to call her out on it.
Mm-hmm. And then they gave Gambit such a badass death. Remember it. I love that. But anyway, the thing about this, when I'm watching so what I think is that it's not going to have all that cringe stuff, but are they going to replace it with other cringe stuff?
Well, my thing is, I'm afraid they're going to gut so much of what made X-Men 97 X-Men 97. Yeah, all in all, the season's pretty good.
It's really good. Don't believe anyone said telling you it's woke, or like they desaxified the characters. They didn't. It's demonstrable they didn't.
There's elements of a little bit of wokeness here and there, but no. What I'm saying is, I'm afraid they'll take away so many elements that made X-Men. I said, like for example, they're switching to the Grant Morrison suits. To me, that's an instant death. Like, okay, then it's not an X-Men 97 anymore. It's just a generic X-Men show.
But wait, they didn't say that they would keep those suits. They just said they would wear those suits. Because remember, the X-Men are traveling throughout time. So it doesn't necessarily mean they're permanently switching to those suits.
I admit this could have been like kind of one of those rage baits where they wear it for like half an episode, and then it's like some sites like try to get outrage clicks. I'll fully admit I make
because honestly, what it sounds like is that they're trying to homage that era of X-Men. Because let's be frank, that is a pretty significant era of X-Men. So they want to homage, because that's what 97 kind of feels like. They're homaging all these different parts of X-Men lore.
Because they did wear the classic suits at the end of this season. That was cool.
Yeah, so that's what I think, because honestly, what I think they're going to do, they're going to go back to like either the suits in the beginning of season 1 or the classic suits, but temporarily as they're traveling through time. Or maybe what this is that they'll encounter like their past or future selves will establish at one point they wore the Grant Morrison suits, but then they switched to like the classic suits.
Oh, how would you feel if they wore the ultimate suits? Or even, actually probably what they'll do is they'll probably bring in like the movie suits.
Or can they kill off Jean Grey so Cyclops can go with Emma? That's my other question, because they set up the Grant Morrison run. Are they going to bring in that element? Except don't do the psychic affair the way the comics did it.
Real quick, I want to catch up with the comments and we'll go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Brown Star asks, is Penguin woke?
Haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, same. I haven't watched because I do recommend watching X-Men 97.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard anything about that. Have you heard?
I haven't either. They could, because she was like a popular villain from Deadpool Wolverine, so they could.
Yeah, definitely. Short King Wolverine.
I love that. Comic accurate Wolverine. He's like a little
That was such a, like, I'm sorry, I got sick and tired of hearing that critique so often.
I think that's what Ryan was making fun of. He's like, see, this is what it would look like if he were that short.
I just want to say, X-Men 97, I really wish they hadn't killed off Madeline Pryor. Because I was kind of liking, like, I thought Scott was going to end up with Madeline because he had a kid with her.
No! He has to end up with Emma Frost. We all know that. And she survived.
Here's a shipping war we can have.
Who doesn't want Cyclops to end up with this beauty?
I've read some of Whedon's X-Men run. I didn't care for it that much.
I have the first volume. It's not as good. Morrison's run is fantastic, particularly if you're a fan of Emma Frost. So I should love that. By the way, for those who don't know, Emma Frost is the Wonder Woman of Marvel in my estimation in terms of like how I like that character.
So Jared has 2 sacred ships, everybody. He has... Okay, I'm not going to do it. He has Super Wonder. I was going to troll you, but I decided not to.
Thank you.
Just, Wonder Woman and Superman. His other sacred ship is Scott and Emma.
Yep, exactly. There you go. You understand that.
By the way, I'm officially calling the ship Diamond Eye.
That actually works.
Because she's diamonds and eye as in Cyclops. I really thought it would be Ms. Marvel.
Yeah, Ms. Marvel pre-Kelly Sue DeConnick writing the character and ruining it. Nope.
Well, if it's 6116 gray.
Screw the Krakoa era for putting that in people's minds. I love how Prevost came out and said, nope, they were not in a throuple relationship. That's not true. Ignore it.
Speaking of X-Men, I'm just wondering, what is your favorite Ultimate X-Men volume?
I only read volume 1.
Yeah. Carol Danvers.
Yeah. I like her, but of the two characters, I think Emma is written consistently better. Let put it this way: Emma does not come with the baggage of sleeping with her own son and then giving birth to him in the main world so he could escape from a paradise dimension.
That actually.
Yes, exactly. There you go. There you go. That's the part I want to see in the MCU, Disney.
Oh, you know what one of my favorite ships is? Jason Todd and a crowbar.
Actually, you know what's actually a good one is Jason Todd and Artemis. Yeah, so that was I like that a lot. But
all right,
so the thing is, Nick, I think we can agree. Well, as far as X-Men 97, let's wait and see what let's wait and see more information, because I'm convinced that the way the media represented it, the way the media represented it is they're permanently changing to the Grant Morrison suits. I doubt that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I'll give you that much. We'll do a little wait and see thing. So we're gonna transition to a comics Q&A. So if there's any comics questions or anything like comics related you want us to talk about, please put in the comments below and we will talk about it. So let's do Tevye say. Wait. So who should Wolverine be with ideally? I love how in the comics he has kind of like a big brother relationship with Kitty Pryde.
Yeah, I like that. Big brother. It's a big brother relationship. I would have to say, for Wolverine, that's a good question. I could see, honestly, I like him with the Japanese girl he was in a relationship with, who became Lady
Mariko.
Deathstrike. Yeah, exactly.
Yuriko,
yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one because I'm not really that familiar with Wolverine's romantic options.
I wonder if they've ever paired Wolverine and Black Widow. That would be interesting.
That would actually work really well.
Hey, Logan does love his redheads.
Actually, yeah, that and we established in X-Men Origin he kind of has. We discovered the origin for that type.
I'm surprised they've never explored that ship because that's actually a pretty good ship.
Yeah, it is. And Tevye, I haven't read Ultimate X-Men because I'm not interested, because they have the new Ultimate X-Men, but it's just about armor. It does not feature the other X-Men.
What?
Yeah, it's really stupid. I really hate it.
There was a Twitter pic with Nightcrawler. That might have been fan art.
I think it's fan art that people are taking it as true. I don't think that's true.
Of my favorite, I'm gonna have to say Ultimate X-Men just because that's what I've read more. But Uncanny X-Men is.
I'm gonna say Uncanny because I've read more. So kind of Nick and I are the opposites for the same reason.
Yeah, but we both acknowledge the other is still really good.
Yeah, both are good. I prefer Uncanny.
Oh, it's the newest issue by Gail Simone. Yeah, so I was Oh God, you've broken Jared. You have broken him.
This is that woman that said, "I want to write a book where Wonder Woman throws her maxi pad at a supervillain." Thanks, Gail.
I just want to say, Gail used to be so great. Her early 2000s work, her Birds of Prey run, is like quintessential. If anyone can make me believe that Dick and Barbara belong together, it was Gail Simone's run. Oh God, I just gave him ammunition. All right, so we're moving on. Question. I'm just wondering, any opinion on X-23 and her story? She's got a great story. Yeah.
I don't like how they made her the new Wolverine, but there you go. But
they did do X-Men Evolution comics, but not too many.
Never read them.
I do love X-Men Evolution. I'm going to give you a hot take. I think X-Men Evolution is better than the X-Men 97 cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
Or even like the 90s X-Men cartoon.
So going back to Gail Simone, I think Britt and I talk about her a lot. because she's one of those people that like she writes for Twitter. So you know what she did? So she's like anti-Super Wonder. She thinks it degrades Diana. So do you know what the so the love interest that she introduced in her run is Tom Tresser, who is a rage. He's the one in Amazon's Attack that lands on Black Canary and goes, "Well, you're a soft landing." And this is also the one that Diana was like smitten with and wanted to have his children. And I'm sorry. At that point, I think as soon as she stopped writing Birds of Prey, I think that's when she started falling, in other words.
So basically, Diana took one look at him and was like,
"So you're the one."
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I had to drop. I mean, this is the last time I'm using StreamYard for streams. Like, I gotta bring some of these out. So.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Gail Simone was like,
"Take it and make a living gay."
Yes, that is. Gail Simone is the Kathleen Kennedy of comics.
Is Captain America missing?
Okay, this is what I'm going to tell you. Read Ultimate Captain America. It is awesome. There's a series. There's like an image. There's like a volume I have where Captain America fights someone that his whole motivation is exposing all of the atrocities that the United States has done in order to shake Captain America of his patriotism. Cap goes, "Yeah, I knew all that stuff. But the thing is, you don't patriotism." This is what Cap says. Patriotism is not like saying your country has not done anything wrong. Patriotism is believing what your country can be.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the MCU Cap. It's like he believes in the ideals of America, if not the country.
And I'm like, yes!
New Harvey Dent cast in? Is that for Penguin?
In Joker. So it's very inconsequential. It's not like they cast him for like the DCU. I'm not interested.
Can I just say, I actually wish they would have followed up with their plans, because you know how in Batman '89 they had Billy D. Williams as Two-Face, as Harvey Dent, and they actually planned to turn him into Two-Face? I wish they had followed through with those plans. Like, Billy D. Williams is a lot better actor than people give him credit for.
Well, they did that in the comics, in the Batman '89 comics. They turned him into Two-Face, and he's in a relationship with Barbara Gordon.
Is that the Alicia Silverstone version?
Nope.
Okay.
I know.
You know what's really kind of weird is Harvey Dent and Jim Gordon probably came up in the same circles, which means he probably watched Barbara grow up.
Yeah. See, Bruce Timm? It's creepy.
Yeah.
So, can I rant about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League?
1 sec, I want to this one.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say I actually really do like the 2005 version, but I think the new one has potential. And then Jared Cookser.
So they like previewed the new season where they introduced like Deadshot's daughter, cringe design. But here's what really ticked me off. So, Nick, and for those that haven't played the game, the way it works is that at the end of every season where you unlock the character, there's like a boss battle as Brainiac, but he basically recycles the boss battles where you fight each of the Justice League. I know, it's cringe. But then I discovered, okay, so the two boss battles you do in the season are Brainiac Green Lantern and Brainiac Superman. They've already done this, so they're recycling it, which I'm like, okay. But then, the end of the season, they have another Brainiac boss battle. Also Brainiac Superman. So they are literally recycling the same boss in the same season.
You can tell they're running out of budget.
I'm like, just end. Honestly, at this point, just end the game. Just end it. Just fast track it and say we're skipping a season. Get them back to life. So we can end this game. Take it outside and old yeller it.
I'm just saying, I don't think we're even going to get that. I think they're probably going to cut it off at the knees either after this, because and we're not going to, and they're just going to end it before even reviving the Justice League, thereby confirming my worst fears. Because remember, your entire argument against my killing the Batman scene was, oh, they're going to revive him. That's your entire argument is predicated on that. So if they end up not doing that,
No, you know what they'll
that is
do?
the last scene of Batman.
No, you know what they'll do? They're lazy enough. What they'll do is in the next game, they'll establish, oh, we revived the rest of them off screen.
Well, we're not going to see that for years. So if they just stop it, and that is actually the last scene, Jared, you and I are going to have words.
And trust me, dude, I'm not going to defend that. Absolutely not. No, I'm done defending this
Like,
game.
I'm just saying, if they actually cut it off and not actually revive Batman or any of the, like, give
That's
them
why I think, at the very least, they'll revive Batman so they don't have to have that backlash again. And then they'll just be like, Superman came back off screen. We're done.
Oh, wait. Brown, you mean Master Cheeks?
Oh, you mean Pablo, the one that was in the show? You mean Master Cheeks? I could kind of see him as Batman, but
no.
I mean, in terms of the way he acted in the show, he was kind of Batman. But in terms of looks, he doesn't look like Batman.
I mean, I know him from American Gods, where he literally played a leprechaun. Okay, Jared. Okay, after this, I'm going to show you some scenes from that. It's going to be so weird watching Master Chief act like a leprechaun. But, oh god, yes.
It's wait. What's American Gods?
It's a TV show about like all. What?
Mm-hmm. No, go ahead.
About like all the different gods and whatnot.
Okay, you know, I wanted to watch that.
It does kind of fall off.
It's not on. It's not on any free streaming, so I can't do that. But anyway, but Dave says it would be hilarious if they suddenly pulled the plug after this awful DLC before they released it. Deathstroke, i.e., the only character people actually wanted, and then didn't bring back Batman either.
All right. So I'm just gonna show you this clip real quick.
Ah! It's the Leopard Chief. Oh God.
Sorry, there's music in the background and like.
Just keep the sound off because it'll still hit you.
Wait. Okay. I want you to hear it sound.
How do you do it? With panache. Sounds like a lot of work to me.
All right, at least we made his day.
Oh wow, that is cringe, and the hair and the beard, that just looks bad.
Yeah, and he is literally a leprechaun.
So he would be the Bat Leprechaun. He's got a pot of gold shaped like a bat.
Actually, Brown, the actor for Shadow Moon, would actually make a very good.
Actually, yeah, I've seen him in other stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I could kind of see that.
I would dare I say he's perfect casting. Like, dear God, like looks wise, he's perfect, but acting wise, he's really great.
They already have their short list for Jon Stewart, by the way.
All right, what's the short list?
All right, hang on, I'll pull it up.
I made your day.
Jon Stewart, Green Lantern casting. It is, so what we have so far is...
Also, for the record, while Jared is looking up, I actually think the guy that cast for Green Lantern is fine. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I could see him as like an older Hal Jordan. So the first guy that they have is the actor from Rebel Ridge. Hang on, I'll pull it up. So he looks like Jon Stewart in terms of like the military bearing, and he kind of acts like Jon Stewart. So
yeah, I'd be okay with it.
And yeah.
Also, Dave,
mm-hmm.
The show starts off really good. Like I've only seen the first 2 seasons. They're really good, but they do it kind of goes off a cliff in like later seasons. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But yeah, so he's in the short list. That's not bad. So I'm like, all right.
But yeah,
what else do you got?
All right. So any other questions you guys got for us? Jared, do you have any questions for me?
Let's see here. What do you think is the most cringe moment in a comic you've ever read? Can I tell you mine? They did.
Well,
this...
I've edited your comics, so that sets the bar pretty.
I know
good.
that's not on the list, but so DC put out a comic where the premise is, what if Nubia joins the Justice League? And I'm like, okay, that's actually really cool.
Okay.
The writer turned into a meme joke with Black Canary doing this and going, "Yes, Queen."
All right. I'm just gonna just talk here while I get the.
Oh, by the way, Tevi has a question. How do you guys feel about Marvel and DC losing the trademark to the word superhero, and now people could use the word finally in other comics?
I mean, they weren't really enforcing it before this, and the whole reason they lost the trademark is because they weren't enforcing it. So
I didn't even know they trademarked it.
Yeah, they shared the trademark for a long time. It's good. Like, it's ultimately a good thing. So let me share you the cringe, so cringe that, like,
yeah, it's Hammer time.
Black Asgard writing, like, this was so cringe that even like the woke people got mad.
The writer got blasted. Well, because when he calls, not only that, so it's Asgard. Well, why does it look like a ghetto? And then when he calls Mjolnir, it has graffiti
By
on
Odin's Fade.
His armor is a hoodie.
And why is there graffiti on Mjolnir? Like,
yes, it was terrible. Thank you. It was very terrible.
Oh god, Vikings. I don't think I've seen that.
Vikings is really good.
Jared, have you seen Black Sails?
No, I haven't. I've heard that's pretty fun.
I think I saw the first season of it. It's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've heard good things about Vikings. Jared, have you ever seen the show called The Tudors?
No, but my parents have. Is it about someone who's a math tutor?
No, but
then why is it called The Tutor?
No, there's a certain actor in that show that will make you want to watch it.
Oh, wait, what?
Yes, Henry Cavill is on The Tudors.
Wow.
I think I know what Jared's going to be watching now.
Now all we need is Gal Gadot they need to revive the show, put Gal Gadot as Henry Cavill's love interest, and then everything's all right in the world.
Also on this show, they also have the one who played Marjorie Tyrell in this one.
I have no idea who that is because I never watched Game of Thrones.
Natalie Dahmer. Sorry.
Okay. My version of Game of Thrones, by the way, have you ever seen the show Spartacus?
Oh god, yes, with Lucy Lawless. Who is this
I love that show so much.
Jared, why did we have, like, can we just show off our well-groomed beards?
I know. Wow, just look at this. And this it took me about. I grew this this is a quarantine beard that I've kept. But yeah, Nick. I just finished Spartacus today. I love that show. That's 300 the show, pretty much.
There's Power Rangers in that show.
Yeah, there definitely is Power Rangers in that show. Yeah, exactly. James Gunn.
Okay, Jared, let's play this out. How would you feel if they announced that Henry Cavill is playing Batman?
As long as Gal Gadot is not playing Catwoman, I'm good to go. Actually, as long as Gal Gadot is playing Catwoman, that actually would work out really well.
Oh god.
Can you imagine if that happens? I'm like, oh, I could actually do that.
All right, here's a question for you, Jared. What's your favorite indie book currently out right
Transformers.
now? Transformers. These guys.
Yes, but I am up for Spartacus is better than Game of Thrones because here's the thing about. I think Spartacus is less gratuitous with the very graphic sex scenes.
I've watched Spartacus. Yeah, I've watched Spartacus, and it has it in there.
It's still in there, by the way. So I like the guy that they recasted the original Spartacus actor to play. You know who he plays? That's Captain Boomerang in the DC AMU and Aquaman in the Tomorrowverse.
What?
He's a big geek. Liam
right.
McIntyre. And he's actually really, really dope. Do you like Rome?
I've not seen it.
I've not seen it.
I'm going back to what Dave said. Since Glenn Powell isn't Hal Jordan, he could play Batman. He could.
I could see him more playing. Honestly, if they didn't cast Kamal Nanjiani as Booster Gold, I would say he would be a good Booster Gold.
Oh God, yes. Tip your waitress. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, I know what you're saying, True Blood, because Tyler Hoechlin's in that show, so it does have a Superman.
Oh yeah, he is. Also Rogue is in that show.
Oh yeah. And isn't Iceman in that series? Oh no, Iceman's in Animorphs. That's the show he's in.
Oh God.
Talk about a creepy ass show with Animorphs, because you can hear the bones breaking as they shift into the animals.
Yeah. Also, I was a huge Animorphs fan in middle school, so.
Oh, so I was technically watching an ancient artifact, is what you're telling me.
So did you know the actress for Karen Page was in True Blood?
No, really?
Yeah. Deborah Ann Wool. It looks. Wait, I guess Deathstroke was. I'm sorry, I'm looking at stuff.
Deathstroke was in there too.
Yeah, like there's like these shows that are like a nexus, for like certain actors.
Yeah, and it is kind of cool seeing all the actors. Like Deathstroke from Arrowverse was in Spartacus. That's Crixus.
Oh God. So all right. Enjoy the. All right, this is for you, Jared.
If it'll load. There you go.
Yeah, her character in this kind of does stuff for me.
I'm sure it does, because Nick is a hair colorist in that he only likes redheads.
I mean, I like redheads. I like goth girls. Goth redheads. But yeah, let's get back to these comments. The current Spawn comics, I haven't read them.
I'm reading them. They're pretty good. I haven't read Gunslinger Spawn because it's not really as interesting. Yeah, we saw Teen Wolf.
I think I saw the first few episodes. It was just like modern teen cringe for me.
Alexander Skarsgård. Who would I cast him as?
Oh, he could play Superman.
Yeah, he could actually. I'll give you that. He could definitely play Superman.
He's got the abs.
Exactly. So you could technically say the Northman is Superman.
I mean, have you seen him fight?
Yeah, exactly. Have you seen the new Penguin show? We already answered that, Tevia.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, Henry Cavill has to play. No, Henry Cavill can play Hyperion. Skarsgård can play the Sentry.
Nope. And
Gal Gadot plays Power Princess.
All right, Jared, you have exhausted your one reference. See, you have exhausted your one reference to Squadron Supreme. I allow you one Squadron Supreme episode reference per episode. You have exhausted that, so just remember that. See, that's how bad it is. He brings it up so freaking often. I had to limit him to one per episode.
No, I'm not interested because I'm not a Well, first off, when have we ever covered WWE stuff?
Like, I've talked about it. For me, I watch like YouTube documentaries. I find the history of wrestling, like the behind the scenes stuff, to be very fascinating. I watched a lot of Dark Side of the Ring episodes. I watched like YouTubers talk about like incidents. And I find that to be very fascinating. But wrestling itself. Okay, CM Punk.
Who's CM Punk?
He's a wrestler, not a very good one. That's awesome.
Let's say you can't cast her as Harley Quinn. Who would you cast Alexa Bliss as?
Punchline.
Nope, you can't do that because Punchline is not showing up in a movie.
Duella Dent.
Nope, Duella Dent's also not showing up in the show.
Okay, yeah, I could see a CM Punk as Wildcat. Yeah, fair enough. Oh god. But how crazy would it be if Alexa Bliss showed up as Punchline?
Mm-hmm.
I swear, if the Arrowverse had existed like now, they totally would have done that. Have Alexa Bliss show up because remember they did have Cody Rhodes show up, and they did a whole episode with him. And I love the chemical was Stardust, which was his character at the time. That was actually kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Black Alice. I will say, if this was Marvel, I would cast Alexa Bliss as Typhoid Mary.
I could kind of see that.
Yeah, Alexa Bliss certainly does sound like it seemed like.
Yeah, I got to tell you that I could kind of see that. And she is a natural blonde, so that actually works really well. She's her own stunt double. Oh, hey, welcome.
Hey, Wild Ranger, how you doing? We were reviewing some Ultimate X-Men earlier, but we finished that, so we're just kind of doing like a Q&A.
When you think about it, Nick, hiring Alexa Bliss to play Black Canary actually works because she is her own stunt double.
Yeah. You know, it's a shame they've never casted John Cena for a DC role. If you were to cast John Cena in a DC role,
they did.
No, they didn't.
Whichever character is in the DCU for like a cameo and then goes away and never comes back, because I'm starting to really hate John Cena as an actor.
Who would I cast Dean Cain as in the DCU? I mean,
Brown said Dean Cain. Oh, he would be a better Superman than David Cornswell. At least his suit
Mike Toole. I know, but like that's the joke.
It's a joke.
You know, it'd be funny is if they casted John Cena to play the Invisible Man. They wouldn't have to do any special effects. Tiffany Stratton is no. Sydney Sweeney must play Power Girl. That is the law.
How would you feel if they cast who would they cast The Rock in terms of DC characters? He would have to be in someone that could change the hierarchy of power.
He's gonna play Ambush Bug.
Actually, you know what's kind of funny? I think he could play a pretty decent Bane.
Yeah.
I've never seen. It's shitty.
Yeah.
Peacemaker is a horrible show. It's literally all fart jokes.
I saw one clip where he was like, "Oh God, Jared." The hierarchy of Argus is about to change.
The hierarchy of Amanda Waller is about to change.
Oh God, Dave, you and the
Speaking of Waller, the actress who played the Arrowverse Waller was in Spartacus.
See, that's one of those things about I didn't like about the Arrowverse. They made Amanda Waller thin and attractive. Like what?
She's called the Wall for a reason.
Yeah. But Sydney Sweeney, Power Girl. It's literally the perfect role for her. And I guarantee you, if Sydney Sweeney played Power Girl, she would fight for the boob window. She would oh hey, here's your costume. She's like, where's the boob window?
I love where Sydney Sweeney is obviously in on the joke because she wore a t-shirt and posted it on Twitter that says, "I'm sorry I have big boobs."
Apparently, when she was doing SNL, she actually advocated for more jokes about her boobs. This woman knows her brand.
Yeah. Yeah, it's heavy. In terms of Bane and Deathstroke getting movies, I'm going to tell you this. Bane and Deathstroke are getting movies before Wonder Woman. Think of that.
Yeah.
Oh, and mind you, this is what I found out. So they're just recycling ideas from the Hamada regime because Hamada was trying to get a Deathstroke and Bane movie to set up the Sinister Six. So they are legit.
That's Marvel.
The Sacred Society, one of those. The point is, they're literally, really what they're doing now with the DCU. They're not coming up with original ideas. They're just taking what Hamada was doing and just bringing it to the future. Did you know that Corn Sweat was Hamada's choice to replace Cavill as Superman? Yeah. I remember seeing the articles about that's who they wanted to that they were eyeing him to recast to replace Cavill.
I don't know Corn Sweat's acting, so what I'm saying is not talking about that. But I'm sorry, but Corn Sweat just reeks of we have Henry Cavill at home.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they want. They thought people would be satisfied with that. Yeah, Dario would make a good Zatanna.
Oh God, yes, those eyes.
Yeah, she has fantastic eyes. I love that. I wanted a Bane and Deathstroke movie for a while. Sinestro could also be a good movie. Sinestro could actually be a good movie. I'll give you that. A Central City Rogues movie could be really fun. Yeah, a Wonder Woman does deserve a movie. But again, as Britt and I have said, DC does not respect Wonder Woman.
They do. They really don't.
Mm-hmm.
So Jared, I have something I want to show you. Here's some fan art of Alexander Daddario.
Yeah, that works. That 110% works.
Like, just look at that.
I've even seen people see she actually has acting ability and works. There are people saying, "Oh no, Dua Lipa should play Zatanna," and I'm like, "No."
I'm sorry, but like those eyes.
She particularly if they're going for like a younger Justice League. Yeah, that works.
But the thing is, she has those eyes. Those literally the eyes.
They look like magical eyes. There you go.
Like seriously, it's just it's perfect casting. Like perfect casting. Like look at this. This looks like Zatanna.
Yeah, she looks like comic accurate Zatanna. 110%. If they cast, this is one of the occasions where if James Gunn casted her as Zatanna, I'd be like, "Yep, I have no complaints about this."
Do you remember the Smallville Zatanna?
You mean I know what you're talking about. I thought she was pretty good. She was also in the TV show I watched called Graceland.
Like,
yeah, I thought she was good. Although her kissing Superman was kind of cringe, but I'm like, okay.
But I think like
Serinda Swan, yeah, she was fantastic as Zatanna. For that episode, it was great.
I'm sorry, but like if you're like a red-blooded woman, the opportunity to kiss like Tom Welling, I don't blame her. The Veronica actress from Riverdale. Let me look that up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know who they're talking about. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I know exactly who they're talking about. Yeah, she looks like Zatanna.
All right, I'm pulling up the Honestly, with this actress, there's a lot of roles she could play. Plus, I've seen her in other things. She is actually a really good actress too. So.
Yeah, the thing is like, so Britt and I did an entire episode on casting Wonder Woman, and I have a good casting. Nick, I want you to tell me about this because I've heard this lady's acting ability. And I'm going to tell you the reason why I think she would make a good Wonder Woman. She's a tad older, but I'm going to do this. Hang on.
But I'm sorry. Next to, if not Alexander Daddario, there is another woman who I want to play Zatanna, and that is Jenna Coleman.
Yeah, I can see that. So
right,
Nick,
for those who don't know, she was one of the Doctor's companions.
You're going to see immediately why I think this woman could play Wonder Woman.
We will get to that.
This is why I say this person could play Wonder Woman, because she literally played the Wonder Woman of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So she has the Greek accent because
I
she's
was
actually
waiting for you to
Greek.
bring this up.
She has the proper skin tone, and she actually is a pretty decent actress. I think she could actually do Wonder Woman really well.
Okay.
Because that's what Britt and I said. It's like Wonder Woman should have an accent and like have slightly olive skin complexion, because it doesn't make sense that like she comes from the Mediterranean and she's white and has an American accent. That makes zero sense.
Okay. Ana de Armas circa 10 years ago, but I think Ana de Armas is getting a little bit too old to play Barbara, in my opinion.
She could play an older Zatanna. It's amazing how many actresses could play Zatanna.
All right. What?
Ana de Armas is Talia.
Actually, yes. I thought you were saying Jenna Ortega. Jenna Ortega is a little bit too young to play Talia.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know. Who could Jenna Ortega could also do Zatanna.
Renee Montoya.
Wild Rango says, will Marvel make a Wolverine versus Hulk movie because of hey, Hugh Jackman said he definitely wants to do that. That would be fun.
He's gonna be playing it till he's 90.
Yeah, exactly.
But Jenna Ortega, that's the one I want to do here. Yeah, we don't talk about that. Yeah, but I do like Jenna Coleman. She's actually a really good actress. And I think she'd be a great Zatanna, but I get what you're saying. I totally agree with you, Dave. Okay, Jenna Ortega in the DCU. Obviously, the obvious one is Renee Montoya, but who else? Tarantula?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm referencing, Jared. You know, it would really suck if you made me relive that childhood trauma and review that for April Fool's Day.
That's your comic for April Fool's Day. Thank you. So
here's
the lineup for Nick. Here's the lineup for Nick. He has to positively review that issue, and he has to positively review and talk about why the second Pacific Rim movie is better than the first one.
Okay.
You are screwed, my good man.
All right. You've earned this, buddy. You've earned this, bucko. Probably the last time. Let's see here. I actually have to track this clip down.
Well, that's just prime.
I was just watching Beast Wars before I came on this.
Shocking.
You don't want to play too many at once because you'll get copyright dinged.
All right, yeah, but yeah. Well, I can see
he could also play Nightwing if he had a better script and was like more jokey Nightwing, I think.
Actually, I think Ana de Armas could play Star Sapphire.
Okay.
All right, Jared. It's your time. Who do you cast as Flash in James Gunn universe? We know who you're gonna say.
Let me get this guy's name. Hang on. Oh, Dylan O'Brien from Maze Runner. I think he could pull off Barry Allen.
I mean, there's a perfect actor that I know who should play it.
So, okay, who would you want to play him that has... Wait. His
name is Grant Gustin!
I was going to say, who would you cast as Barry Allen that hasn't played Barry Allen? By the way, he never really played Barry Allen. He was really playing the classic Wally West.
Okay, fine. Grant Gustin is Wally West.
That would be hilarious if they did that.
Ooh, casting Raven. That's an interesting. Jenna
Ortega's Raven.
Yeah, definitely. I could see it. I could definitely see it. Oh. Speaking of stuff, did you hear that they've actually Aubrey, who revealed who Aubrey Plaza is playing in Agatha all along? It's actually kind of a big deal.
Who is it?
She's Death.
Oh, don't tell Josh Brolin. That's who Thanos is in love with.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's been revealed. I think it was kind of leaked out. Also, the guy, that young kid, is actually playing Wicked.
Okay, I can kind of see what I figured that's what they were doing. An older Wiccan. I could see that.
Yeah.
Which that's interesting. I can kind of dig that.
Hmm.
No, not really. I don't play horror games. We are
He
going to
should
review a bunch
play-
of
he should-
horrible movies.
Actually, Brendan Fraser as Jay Garrick actually is not a bad idea.
Yeah, actually, that's not bad.
But Brendan Fraser, modern day Brendan Fraser, because if we're talking like Mummy era Brendan Fraser, that's a whole different ballgame. But modern day one, actually, I could see him playing Black Mask for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Because Brendan Fraser is actually a really good actor.
He is. I'll give you that. He is.
But let's do a little fantasy here. Let's say it's Mummy Returns era Brendan Fraser.
I've never seen those movies, so I can't weigh in on that.
What the fuck, Nickel?
I love how
You have never seen the Mummy and
Yeah.
the Mummy Returns.
Yeah, exactly. I love how Nick caught himself in a curse. Ah, that was good.
You need to see those movies.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah, I got it.
I love how he's even checking his phone. That's how little he cares.
Yeah, exactly. Alexa Swinton is a legit redhead and perfectly aged for Barbara Gordon. Who was that?
I don't know. Nacy Aubrey Plaza would have been a better movie. yeah, I've actually seen some people say that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I did, because those Mummy movies are like really important to me. Yeah. You need to watch the Mummy, Jared.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
What?
I'm not interested.
Why?
It's just discount Indiana Jones. I'm not interested. I just broke Nick's head.
Too many questions.
By the way, Nick, I want you, so
Thank you, Brown.
Manganello was hanging out with Zack Snyder, and
As
Manganello,
legends are one to do.
Manganello was asked the coolest thing. He was asked, well, "What's the coolest thing that you have that makes the nerds jealous?" And then he goes, "The Deathstroke helmet from the end credit scene of Justice League." And then Zach goes, "That's not even nerdy. That's just cool." And I'm like, "I want that helmet."
Oh, have you ever seen like the video of the Dread guy?
Carl Urban.
Yeah, where he's like showing like all the helmets he has. Like he has his Lord of the Rings helmet, he has his Dread helmet. It's just so cool seeing him talk about all that stuff.
Well, did you know that when Ben Affleck wrote his Batman movie, he wrote it in the BVS Batsuit?
Oh God, I love this man.
Well, here's the thing. Ben Affleck took his earnings from Goodwill Hunting and made a Batcave in his house. The man is actually Batman.
Dave, The Mummy Returns is arguably as good, if not better, than the first.
Until you see The
Batman.
Rock as the Scorpion King.
It was the early 2000s.
Nope, I'm not allowing that as an excuse, because guess what? I've seen early 2000s movies that look great.
Still, it's not that.
Nope. Sorry, it is very distracting. It destroys the movie. That's what the movie's known for. Okay, Jared's what's his favorite Nick Cage Ghost Rider?
Yeah, the first Ghost Rider is actually not that bad. I haven't seen the sequel.
Second one sucks. I don't read horror comics.
I would say the most horrible comic, or at least the most horrible comic script I've ever had the displeasure
Screecher.
of reading is Athena.
Yeah.
You knew exactly where I was going with that.
Yeah, I know.
Too much wind up. I had too much wind up. I just gotta say, National Treasure and Ghost Rider are actually not bad movies.
Mm-hmm. The first Ghost Rider. The second one sucked.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. I love how checked out Jared is of this currently. But yeah, Jared, do you have any more questions for me?
Let's see. I would have to say, not really. It was a great show. I enjoyed the book for sure. For sure. So that's a fun one.
Yeah, definitely. So we got about 10 more minutes to kill left in the show. So, any more questions? Jared, I have a question for you.
Okay.
What is the worst superhero casting, in your opinion?
Arnold is Freeze.
You literally saw my hand move.
Actually, no. Whoever was.
All right, everyone. Chill.
I got someone worse. Whoever they cast as Bane.
Yeah. Marvel Zombies.
Yeah, no, Deceased. Because here's the problem with Marvel Zombies: they get a little excessive with the gore and like Peter saying, "I hate my family." It gets really annoying. It's like that's the book, Nick, where Ant-Man goes, I just like the taste of human flesh. Even if I were cured, I would probably still eat people. You still think Marvel Zombies is better?
I'll grant you that. Also, like the whole reveal that like Ryan O'Connell was, you were destined to be the savior of humanity because they slapped this tattoo on you in the orphanage. Like it was kind of a retcon that I really didn't care for.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like the entire point of the series was him getting to Aksunama, and he finally gets her, and at the end she runs away, and then he just like, oh, I have nothing left to live for. Let me just kill myself.
Mm-hmm.
Just Friends, probably Ryan Reynolds' best movie in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, that's a problem with a lot of zombie. Okay, I'm going to give you a nuclear hot take. Zombie stories are ultimately one note, predictable, and very boring.
Yeah, because they all actually follow the exact same beats, like down to the T. So you know what? I can actually agree with you on that. But because we're past the time when they were actually doing new stuff with zombie stories, I think.
Yeah, The Walking Dead was fine for a little while, where it's like, it's not the zombies that are the enemy. They kind of made it turn into a post-apocalyptic show where the zombies were an obstacle, and that was kind of cool. But even that went off the rails. And that's a problem with a lot of zombie stuff is eventually the zombies are not a threat, and then what do you have left to do?
Yeah, because as soon as people get guns, unless there's like a metric crap ton of zombies around you, there's not much you can do.
I will say one of the best twists was 28 Days Later when they actually made the zombies fast.
Yeah.
Okay, then they're actually a bit of a threat. I'll grant you that.
Mm-hmm. There you go. That's right. I agree with you on that. I don't watch. I don't really read vampire stories, Tavia.
I do watch a lot of vampire movies, so I can
Sure you
comment
do.
on that.
We'll be watching one for Saturday for sure.
Oh, that movie's gonna suck.
By the way, Nick, have you watched Terminator Zero yet?
No, I heard it was good.
Watch it. Watch it. It is. This is what they should have done instead of killing off John Connor. They do some really cool stuff with that. The stain is probably the most.
I heard about that. Yeah, and I just want to say, and one of Zack Snyder's best movies is Dawn of the Dead.
And before you say James Gunn wrote that, actually what happened is that he wrote it, but then there were heavy rewrites by other people.
And also, Zack Snyder still directed it, and as we reviewed it, it does have a lot of prototype Zack Snyder elements. Like
slow-mo.
Like you can see you can see the style that would develop. Because this was like Dawn of the Dead was basically his first big movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good because I think he did Dawn of the Dead after just doing music videos.
Yeah, you can definitely tell he came out of that. So one of probably my two favorite vampire movies are Bram Stoker's Dracula and Lost Boys.
So the ones for old people.
All right, we're almost 2 hours in. I can get away with this.
There you go, old man.
Oh God. But yeah, I do love me some zombie flicks. Um, I will say the Wolfman movie from 2010 with with Benicio del Toro
Mm-hmm.
is actually surprisingly underrated.
Mm-hmm.
Jared, have you seen it?
No, I haven't. I've seen some clips of it, but I haven't watched it all the way through.
Have you seen the transformation scene?
Yeah, I have. I think you actually should have showed it to me.
And you agreed that was really good.
For the time period, yeah, it actually works really well.
But yeah, I need to watch more werewolf flicks. Like, I need to watch like American Werewolf in London. Honestly,
Be on the lookout for when we cover a certain vampire movie that would later include werewolves, because I am going to tear that apart. Because okay, I'm gonna say it. We're reviewing Twilight on my channel for horrible movies, and I'm gonna talk about, even though it's not like even though werewolves don't show up until movie 2, those aren't werewolves.
okay.
That's what I'm
So
gonna say.
Jared, this clip I'm going to show you is a movie from 1981. Okay. Uh, like just like the body horror of this is just
Mm-hmm.
like this scene still looks good.
Yeah, it does actually.
Like this is 1981.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of doing like a mixture of like the old Lon Chaney technique.
Mm-hmm.
Because what they did in the 30s is they did the makeup in stages and then they like faded it. Like, look at that. Doesn't that look good,
Mm-hmm.
Jared?
Yeah.
This is 1981 and it still looks great.
Yeah.
All right. I think you get the idea.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah, it does look pretty good.
But yeah, I've always kind of been fascinated by like movie techniques in horror movies. But even like the Lon Chaney ones from the 30s are really interesting. But yeah, so we're gonna start wrapping it up here. So Jared, what do you got going on, and where can people find you?
Well, in about an hour, I'm actually going to do a stream with my friend Robert Willing, where we discuss Superman Aliens. So there is that. We're going to do Superman Aliens, and then he's gonna discuss with me Batman Predator. So we're gonna do that. We've been planning that for like a really long time. Super Wonder Legacy episode 60, where Britt and I talk about the absolute Superman and Wonder Woman, is out. It's got over 225 views already, even though we live streamed it last night. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it. This Saturday, we're going to be reviewing Twilight for movie night because we're starting our horrible movie reviews. And in terms of Super Wonder this week, Britt and I are talking about we're going to compare the backgrounds of Clark and Diana, like how she's a princess, he's a farmer and stuff, and how those actually work really well together. And for Under Two Capes, Taladia and the YouTuber, the DC New 52 reviewer, and I are going to talk about the New 52 era of comics and why it's awesome.
Nice. So tomorrow I will be playing some Chrono Trigger with you guys. That's going to be pretty awesome. Oh my god, I did this whole thing and I forgot the most important thing. All right, we got it. It's all right. We got a show. All right. Let me set that up real quick. Okay, and
Dave said while you do that, Dave said, did you know they hired a makeup artist for this movie to do the effects of the 2010 werewolf, but replaced his work with CGI? They did that with the prequel / remake of The Thing, where they had practical like prosthetics for all the like Thing monsters, but then they replaced it all with CGI, and it looks awful.
yeah, and The Thing is another one of those movies that are like a tour de force of practical effects.
Mhm.
All right. So we are less than a week out from the launch of Screecher 3. And, okay. And if you have not signed up for Screecher, please consider doing so. That would be really appreciated. But yeah, and we'll be launching it live on this channel on the Friday Night Frenzy. It will be a simulcast between myself and Jared's channel. So yeah, Screecher 3 is coming.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, definitely a slap in the face. So, Jared, thank you. And then just let everyone know, starting with the Friday Night Frenzy, we are switching to Restream because StreamYard bumped up their prices to a point where I do not feel comfortable supporting them. So I'm switching to Restream. This is the last time I'm using StreamYard. So next time, if it looks a little bit different, looks a little weird, that's why. But Jared, thank you. And as always, everyone, remember, I can only show you the door one at a time.